Panther Stadium here at Spring Lake Park High School. It's time for a top 10 clash in Class 5A here tonight on homecoming at Spring Lake Park High School. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Hupp, and it should be a fascinating game between the number 4 ranked team in the state, the Mahtomedi Zephyrs, and the 8th ranked Spring Lake Park Panthers. Panthers beat Mahtomedi last season 35-7, and they're looking to do more of the same, but the Zephyrs come in red hot right now, and they're led by Corey Bomer, second in the state in yards and touchdowns. You see him averaging nearly 13 yards a carry this year. He is the leading rusher for this Mahtomedi team and one of the best tailbacks in the state. Spring Lake Park brings back Braden Talso, who hit Mahtomedi for 117 yards on the ground last year. He's a senior now and a co-captain, and he's putting up a really good senior season for this Panthers team. An unexpected contributor is Lamari Brown. He had 136 yards on the season and a couple touchdowns and over 100 yards in his first game last week for the Panthers. And Brown, just a true freshman, but he's inserted into the starting lineup, and he'll be featured in the running back rotation for Spring Lake Park tonight. Big crowd on hand tonight for homecoming, what should be a fantastic game in Class 5A. Coming up next for you on North Metro TV.
North Metro TV News is your source for local stories. Highlighting the issues in your community, we bring you the news that's closer to home. Join us as we explore the stories all around us, every day at 2:30, 6:30, and 10:30.
Back here at Panther Stadium, Bill Hupp with you before kickoff here on homecoming between Spring Lake Park and Mahtomedi. Panthers rolled over the Zephyrs last year at home, 35-7. They got up 35-0 and didn't surrender a touchdown until 42 seconds remaining in the game. So a real meaningless touchdown late. They led 21-0 at halftime. Nick Ogile and Nate Litke, two of the stars of that team, now playing for Minnesota Duluth, had 2 touchdowns apiece. Braden Talso was actually the leading rusher. As we take a look at the state rankings in Class 5A, you notice Spring Lake Park, the only team that's not unbeaten in the top 10. Big game as well tonight as Chanhassen plays host to Robbinsdale Armstrong. So 5 versus 6 tonight and 4 versus 8. A couple of dandy matchups, and a good one as well between Mankato West and Rochester Mayo for that matter. So some ranked matchups here in Class 5A tonight on pretty overcast but nice night for football, as Mahtomedi has won the toss and deferred to the second half. So Spring Lake Park will get the football first to start off. Kickoff temperature 65 degrees, no rain in the forecast, as Lamari Brown and Jackson Smith will be the 2 tailbacks lining up behind Braden Talso. As you take a look at John Stewart in his 5th season as Panthers head coach, he's put together quite an impressive record, 32-5 the last 4 regular seasons under John Stewart. Took over in 2018 and immediately led the Panthers to 2 straight state tournament appearances. Yes, the Zephyrs and Dave Metzel in his 16th season on the sideline. It's a pretty amazing with Mahtomedi. Metzel took over for Wally Malmstrom, the 36-year head coach, in 2007. So the Zephyrs have had 2 head football coaches since 1970. Amazing continuity for the program as they've got it teed up at the 40-yard line, wearing the white jerseys, blue helmets, navy blue helmets and pants, navy blue lettering with gold trim. Panthers in their familiar blue jerseys, gray pants, gray lettering, and white helmets. And we are underway here on homecoming from Spring Lake Park. Savion Taylor breaks it out, and he gets tripped up at the 30-yard line, and that's where the Panthers will take over 1st and 10 with their first possession of the game. As you see the starting lineup there, Talso with Smith and Brown behind him, Conkler and Say on the outside, and then on the line, Bedoy, Johnson, Chanvong, Larson, Kolbaum, and Torborg. In the defense for Mahtomedi, 4 two-way starters for the Zephyrs. Took a pounding last year from this triple option, and they are hoping to respond better. Lamari Brown one of the two tailbacks behind the quarterback, Braden Talso. He and Jackson Smith, the two co-captains this year. First carry, Smith gets the call, tackled by Corey Bomer, but not before he picks up 6 out to the 36.
Bomer with the tackle for the Zephyrs. Ball placed at the 36-yard line.
So a rush of 6
Brings up second down and 4.
on first down. Brings up second down. Bomer, just a fantastic athlete. As we said, 12 touchdowns on the ground in the open, but he's also got a pick 6, so he can hurt you in multiple ways. As you look at Braden Talso's numbers passing for the season, definitely more of a runner. And his running numbers pretty impressive this year, nearly 400 yards and 6 touchdowns. But he gets it out wide. First pass of the game will be enough for first down yardage. As Mikey Say, one of his trusted receivers, the leading receiver, makes the catch. And it's a pickup of 6. Move the chains out to the 42. Say's numbers as he nears the 100-yard mark. Now 8 catches for 99 yards on the season, and he is split wide left. 2 receivers left. 2 backs behind Talso. And he takes and gives to the first man through, and that is going to be Kayshawn Green, who's into the game. Didn't get the start, but he's heavily featured in the rotation, and he picks up 4 on his first carry from scrimmage. As you see here, just in between the tackles, nice play made by the linebacker Tyler Gunderson, 31st tackle on the season for him. So now the Panthers have it at their own 46-yard line. 40 picked up 1 first down on this drive. Talso gives up the middle. Stacked up and driven back after a pickup of 3 near midfield. As Green got out to make that Freddie Anthony the first tailback through. And he gets out for a gain of 3 down to the 49-yard line. So it brings up 3rd and 3. Talso takes, pitches wide for Green, coming left. He cuts it back against the grain, and he's stacked up and driven back shy of the first down. He'll be about a yard, maybe a half yard short. That brings up 4th down and a decision for Coach John Stewart. They gave him 2 on this play, but a nice job of rallying to the football by the line, led by Eric Butke, John Paul Johnson, and others. On 4th down, we need about a half yard. Talso takes, gives to the first man through. He's got first down yardage down to the 46. So a nice job by Jackson Smith of picking up the yardage that he needs. Called a gain of 3 on 4th down. It moves the chains for the 2nd time in this drive. And this is what Spring Lake Park exactly wanted to do. They got the football. They've already chewed up 3.5 minutes on the clock, and they've picked up a couple first downs, just sort of methodically making you be defensively disciplined. Talso takes, gives to Jackson Smith, and this time he's met with resistance and falls forward for maybe a gain of 1. Mahtomedi thinks they may have forced a fumble, but officials have not signaled the ball was out. As you see Jackson Smith, first man through. It did look like the ball might have come out, but no indication. And that was just a pickup of 1. Already the 8th play of the drive coming up. As you get a good look at John Paul Johnson, 2-way starter along with Thomas Metzel on that front 7 on that offensive and defensive line for Mahtomedi. 2 receivers split to the near side. Talso takes, he pitches as he gets hit, and it's a fumble. Kayshawn Green, or rather Lamari Brown, wisely deciding to just fall on that. Ultimately, it's a loss of 5 back to midfield, and a great job of pressure in the backfield by the defensive line of Mahtomedi. So this is not a team that has many negative rushing plays, but right there, they go backwards, and now they're behind the chains. It's 3rd and 14. Not a position that Spring Lake Park likes to find itself in. They need to reach the 36-yard line. Talso back to pass. Sets up the screen for Brown at midfield. He slips a tackle. Gets inside Bomert. Still going. He's got first down yardage inside the 35 down to the 33. Lamari Brown showing off his skills and why the coaching staff is so excited about this true freshman. Look at the moves to just let the defenders fly by on this screen pass. Stiff arms a man. Has another guy go past him in Corey Bomert. Just the hesitation and then the strength to pick up enough yardage. It's down to the 34-yard line officially. It's a gain of 16 on that pass play. Really impressive from the freshman. Take and give up the gut. The ball's out. Mahtomedi's fallen on it, and they've recovered. We'll have to see what happened. Thomas Metzel, the coach's son, fell on the loose football, and Spring Lake Park's promising drive ends. I believe it was forced out by number 21, Cody Dvorak. And that was a clear fumble as you see the head coach, Dave Metzel, and his son Thomas falls on the loose fumble, and the Zephyrs take over 1st and 10 at their own 34. 10th play of the drive, but it was a fumble, and there you see Dvorak, who forced the fumble. Nice job by that young man, and that ruins a promising drive. First play from scrimmage for Mahtomedi. This is Corey Bomert. And that was won the hard way. Nice job of running to the football here as the pitch went to Bomert wide, and Freddie Anthony, among others, in there on the stop. Actually, Kyrie Shaw, number 7, who was affecting the play. Ball spotted at the 35 of the Zephyrs as we're more than midway through this first quarter. I formation behind Sam Gary, who's under center. Gary back to pass. Quick 3-step drop, throws, and his receiver and he were not on the same page. Michael Berry, the leading receiver for this Mahtomedi team, wasn't even looking. I say leading receiver, but Berry's got 3 catches for 43 yards. Andrew Brian's got 2 for 45, and Ramsey Morrell, technically the leading pass catcher's got 4 catches for 49 yards. So that pass incompletion brings up 3rd and 9. Stops the clock with 5:39 to go. Gary, play action, stumbles a little bit, rolling right, throwing. He's got a man out there. Does he get his feet in? He does. Nice catch by Berry to drag the toes at the 45. They pick up 10, and that's just enough to move the chains. You see he stumbled a little bit, but Berry got open, and he did a nice job of dragging his feet and picking up a first down. Gets it out to the 45-yard line. They're a running team. Both these teams are rushing teams, and that's how they want to be. Samuel Gary, just his 11th completed pass of the season, or rather his 8th. I was looking at his rushing totals. He's rushed 10 times for 54 yards and a touchdown, and now he is 8 for 18 for 105 yards. And he fell on the fumble there. Fourth fumble of the game already between these two teams. So not weather related as our first flag comes flying in. Not weather related by any means, but certainly affecting things as Mahtomedi jumps early. And the false start will walk the Zephyrs back. Moves them back to their own 39. Makes it 2nd and 16. This is, again, not a team that wants to find itself behind the chains. But yeah, Spring Lake Park fumbled it 3 times and lost 1, and the Zephyrs just fumbled it for the first time themselves. From the 39, quick drop, throw near side to Barry. He switches hands, breaks a tackle. Markel Taylor tackles him out of bounds into the Spring Lake Park bench at the 47. It's a pickup of 8. So Mahtomedi coming out throwing maybe more than we expected, figuring that Spring Lake Park would sit on the run. Brings up 3rd and 8 from the 47. Gary turns, gives to Bomert. He jumps over a man and picks up the first down as he gets into Spring Lake Park territory. Corey Bomert featuring as we expected he might, and he showed a nice burst there as he picked up first 15 yards and the first down for Mahtomedi. Look at the hole he had to run through, but then he did the rest, jumped over a nice jump cut there. That rush of 15 for Bomert gives him 16 yards for the game. A little bit of confusion here as guys not on the same page, and Gary ultimately had to just slide down. Love to see a replay of that one. As the starting lineups for both teams. Gary with Bomert, throws to Stenger and Brian and Mary. Metzel, Johnson, Swiston, Hemingway, Rice, and Morrell in front of him. Spring Lake Park with some very aggressive defensive backs, so certainly hoping to cause some trouble here. Again, all kinds of confusing flags come flying in. I think it's going to be false start again. So Dave Metzel has called a timeout. He's all the way onto the field, and he is absolutely livid. If we could show him, he is absolutely livid at his team as false start is the call, and Metzel is absolutely having a go at his team because he doesn't feel they're bringing the right focus to this game. Already the second penalty, there's been a fumble, obviously a breakdown in coverage in terms of Gary having to slide down previously, and they have continuously put themselves behind the chains. They've managed to get out, but I think probably a smart timeout by Dave Metzel, who clearly does not like the focus he's seen from his team in the early going. They face a 2nd and 17 now. And I would disagree with this, as they need to reach the 28. So I'm going to call it 2nd and 19 with the ball at the 47-yard line. Can't always trust the scoreboards, you know. Gary turns, gives to Bomert, straight up the gut between the tackles, running away from Anthony. Bomert gets the corner. Anthony shoves him out of bounds. He's finally run out of bounds by Anthony and Savion Taylor. But what a burst shown by Corey Bomert, who quickly covers up his teammates' mistakes, bursting through the big hole past the linebacker Jackson Smith, and then you see him turn it on as he gets to the outside. Good angle by Taylor to force him out of bounds at the 10-yard line, but he picks up 37 on that 3rd down scamper. Now he gets the call on 1st down, spinning out of a tackle. Bomert shuffling his feet, reaching for the goal line and scoring. Corey Bomert from 10 yards out. And those 2 runs consecutively were about as good as we've seen against the Panthers this year. He broke away from an arm tackle attempt of Caden Woods, who's a strong guy. So you see the lower body strength of Corey Bomert, and then he just kind of fell in over his teammate for the touchdown. So Corey Bomert, 13th touchdown of the season on the ground, and he is already off to a dynamite start for the Zephyrs. They'll go for 2 here. As the play fake to Bomert, Gary throwing to the end zone. The man fell down, and a flag comes flying. He was looking for his intended receiver, Gunther Sather, but Sather got his legs tangled up, and he fell down. How about Bomert on that drive? He accounted for 4 carries for 63 yards on that drive. They'll go for 2 again. Give up the gut into the end zone. Bomert converts the 2-point conversion. And after Spring Lake Park fumbles it on their opening possession, Mahtomedi ultimately makes them pay. Thanks to that man right there, Corey Bomert. We highlighted him in the open, and he has delivered a touchdown and a 2-point conversion already. And he was responsible. I mean, that was a 66-yard drive. He was responsible for 63 of them. Despite 2 penalties that drove the Zephyrs back, ultimately it's 8-0 now. Mahtomedi leads. Bomert again, 4 carries for 63 yards and a touchdown on that opening drive. The Spring Lake Park Band strikes up a tune. Lamari Brown back deep to receive this kick. Teed up by Charles Thean, who struggled making extra points last week. He was 0 for 2. And so they decided to just go for 2. This will be a short kick, fielded at the 10-yard line. Bringing it out, Mikey Say, and he's shoved out of bounds on the far side. So Spring Lake Park with a little bit of work to do after Mahtomedi marched it right down. And wasn't the smoothest drive you've ever seen, as Dave Metzel took a timeout to really get into his kids about their lack of focus. But one kid who did bring focus was their running back, Corey Bomert, up over 1,000, or nearing 1,000 yards. He's just shy of that. He's got 50 more to hit the 1,000-yard mark. Green and Brown in the backfield behind Tauso, who turns and gives to Lamari Brown, and Brown is tackled forward. A good pickup on first down of 9 yards. Now we'll see if Spring Lake Park decides to go with a little bit of tempo here. As scoreboard says a first down, it's not. They started at their 27. They're a yard short, but a nice run of 9 for Lamari Brown on first down. Tauso gives to the first man through, and he gets up. Kayshawn Green does to the 40-yard line. That'll be enough for a first down. So if you're Spring Lake Park, you have to be pleased with how you've moved the football. That hasn't been the issue, but you have to be able to take care of the ball. Tackled on the play by Javon Harvey, one of the talented linebackers for the Zephyrs team. 2 receivers split right. Again, Brown and Green in the backfield. Brown will get it, stiff arms a man, bounces it to the outside, cuts it back up, and he's finally roped down after a pickup of 4 out near the 45. As you see here, just the vision to kind of know, and the instincts to kind of know when to cut it back up. Generous spot, so they give him 5, and the ball's on the 45-yard line. Again, Brown and Green, the lone setbacks. Brown gets it, first man through, and he dives in between the tackles up to the 48. Clock continuing to roll. We're inside of 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Very active first quarter. That gain of 3 leaves it 3rd down and 2. Tauso takes, keeps it, pulls it out of the belly of Brown. He'll get a first down and into Mahtomedi territory, down to the 43-yard line. Great wisdom, great idea, and a great decision by the senior co-captain to pull it out. As you see here, he had nothing going, and he spins away from the tackle of Dvorak. Managed to pick up 9 and move the chains. Second first down of the drive. Not much on the gain there. As again, Freddie Anthony getting more carries. A strong safety, but also a very versatile athlete, member of the basketball team. Picked up just a yard there to the 42. Mahtomedi's first drive was 8 plays. This is already the 17th play of the game. Going to be run by Spring Lake Park. Tauso gives to Anthony again, and he muscles his way inside the 40 down to the 39. 20 seconds left. That should be the last play of the first quarter. After that rush of 3. And I do think the Panthers will be willing to switch sides of the field. Spring Lake Park fumbles it away. First on homecoming, Corey Bomer makes him pay. And after one period of play, the Panthers trail the Zephyrs 8-0 here on North Metro TV.
Hi, everyone. Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
John Stewart and company looking to make something happen here as they are in the midst of their second possession of the game after fumbling right around this part of the field in their first drive. Hoping for ball security, better ball security, both teams really, as we begin the second quarter with the ball on the 39 on 3rd and 6. Big third down here. Tauso takes, cuts it back, and he runs right into a wall of Mahtomedi defenders. Led on the play by Eric Butke. Butke, 4 TFLs and 3 sacks coming into the game, and he stacked up Tauso and drove him back. No gain, maybe a half yard out to the 38.5. So it's going to bring up 4th and 5 from the 38. They're kind of in no man's territory here, so Spring Lake Park will go for it here on 4th and 5. Brown and Green in the backfield behind Tauso. On 4th down, play fake, pump and go, looking for Mikey Say. He got tangled up down there with the defensive back Karsten Cummins. No flag comes out, however, and the Panthers turn it over on downs. It was a little hitch and go. Say wanted the flag, but ultimately none came. And with 11:05 to go in the second quarter, Mahtomedi takes over on downs at their own 38-yard line. It took over on their own 34 in their last possession. It's 21-0 at half last year for Spring Lake Park, and Mahtomedi has hoping to do similar things as Corey Bomer makes a jump cut and breaks to the outside. He's in the open field. Stiff arms a man. He shoved down Savion Taylor ferociously. Corey Bomert finally brought down by a hustling Kyrie Shaw, but not before a huge gain. Watch this play. Bomert cuts it back upfield, makes a man miss into the second level, and then he absolutely bullied Savion Taylor. They'll spot it down at the 18-yard line. 44 yards now. You can see him averaging 221 yards a game, and it's easy to see why, as the carry there down to the 10-yard line. Bomert with, by my tally anyway, now 107 yards on the ground on just 5 carries. 5 carries, 107 yards, a touchdown, and a 2-point conversion for Corey Bomert, who has, as advertised, he didn't do much against Spring Lake Park last year, but he is putting up an all-state kind of season this year. Second down from the 10. Again, give to the first man through, dragging defenders. Physical running by the fullback, Cole Senger. He's now got 22 carries on the season for 170 yards. He picks up first down yardage to the 5. So imagine it's Corey Bomert time now. Again, I formation behind Sam Gary, who's under center. Give to Bomert, running between the tackles, skips his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Corey Bomert, second of the night. He's got 112 yards on the ground on just 6 carries. And more importantly, he's got his team out to a 14-0 lead. Bomert, the big run, 44 yards, and he caps off the drive with a 5-yard touchdown scamper. Now they'll go for 2 once more. Turn and give to Bomert, breaking tackles. They finally come up with some help from the safety to drive him back. So it's 14-0 now, Mahtomedi. And the Panthers, after fumbling away their first possession and turning it over on downs on their second, have to be wondering what's going on. As you see Bomert on the 2-point conversion, you need gang tackles. Nice job by a host of Panthers to drive him back, but John Stewart deep in thought here. How about the numbers for Corey Bomert? 6 carries, 112 yards, and 2 touchdowns here in this first half. He's got a 10-yard touchdown run and a 5-yard touchdown run. But the most impressive run of the night, well, that 37-yard one he had in the previous drive was good. But that 44-yard touchdown run when he stiff-armed Savion Taylor was a thing of beauty if you're a running back purist. Lamari Brown back deep to receive for Spring Lake Park. He's got a good leg, but they'll choose to go for 2 as Brown takes it at the 5-yard line. He's dragged down at the 20. So now the Panthers go to work. They got to drive 80 yards to try to get into this deficit. Point I was trying to make earlier is that Spring Lake Park dominated the first half and was up 21-0 last year on Mahtomedi's home field. Zephyrs looking to return the favor here tonight at Panther Stadium. Looks like Anthony's in the backfield, along with Kayshawn Green. Tauso's going to keep it himself on first down. And he picks out ins, gets out past the 25 to the 25.5. Call it the 25 as he just followed his blockers. Maybe a bit of miscommunication. Dvorak in on the stop for Mahtomedi. John Stewart searching for answers here against this Zephyrs front. Nearing the 9-minute mark here in the second quarter. Talso turns and gives to Jackson Smith. He's driven down in the backfield. Tackle made by big number 66, Sam Carson, and Gunderson as well. John Paul Johnson and Tyler Gunderson in on the tackle. They are really flying to the football well here in this first half. 14-0 our score. Big third down here. 3rd and 3 now for the Panthers. Talso, again a bit of miscommunication, but he picks up first down yardage as he gets out past the 30 to the 32. It's hard with this offense to tell whether that was a broken play or whether he intended to just follow his blockers. But ultimately he just tucked it and ran and lowered his shoulder into Alec Mahoney. And that was enough for a first down. Now it's 1st down and 10 from the 32. Talso gives to Lamari Brown. Not much on the carry, maybe a couple. Second and 8 now after that gain of 2. Andover leading Buffalo 21-7. Lakeville South on top of Rosemount 7-0. On 2nd and 8, Talso fakes the pitch, decides to keep it himself, and not much doing. Thomas Metzel, Cody Dvorak, John Paul Johnson in on the stop for Mahtomedi. As you see, he faked the pitch and decided to just turn it upfield. And he had a host of defenders there. Mahtomedi has come to play here on Spring Lake Park's homecoming. Zephyrs looking all the part of a 4th-ranked team in state. Talso, 3-step drop, rolls near side, flushed. Steps up, he'll air it out downfield, and it's knocked away last second. It was intended for Mikey Say, and it was defended well on the play by Nicholas Rollinger. That's going to force a punt for Spring Lake Park. You see the protection kind of broke down here. Valiant effort by Talso to air it out downfield. Say had it and just dropped it. I think Rollinger did get an arm in there to knock it free. So Talso drops back to punt. 2 returners back for Mahtomedi in Beaumont and Mahoney. And Beaumont will grab it at the 30-yard line to the 35 before he's hit by Eric Bedoy and driven back. So Corey Beaumont, about the first normal thing we've seen him do tonight, returns the punt 3 yards to the 33. And now he'll go back on offense with his teammates. Two receivers split left. I formation behind Gary. Gary, quick snap, rushes forward. Not sure what that play design was, but he gains 2 out to the 35. Gary just a keeper up the middle. Interesting with Sam Gary, because he is the backup. Charles Brandt is on the sidelines. He's gotten kind of banged up the first couple weeks, and so Sam Gary has come in. 7 of 16, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception. He takes and gives to Bomert. Skips past one defender. And he's brought down. The ground, I think, caused that fumble. But Spring Lake Park claims they have it. And nope, they are going to say it did. It was caused by the ground. So a gain of 5 for Bomert. I think that was the right call as you see him stretch there. Tackled on the play by Jackson Smith, among others.
It's third down, Panther fans.
As you see the injured quarterback Charles Brandt on the sideline. Not sure they would be throwing much more than they do, but they do have a senior in there in Sam Gary. He turns and gives to Bomert, and this time the Panthers stack him up. Great job on the play by Miles Thompson, among others, getting penetration and throwing Bomert for a loss, and the first 3 and out of the game as the Zephyrs will be forced to punt. -2 on that rushing play. As you see Thompson grab an ankle and hang on for dear life on that pivotal 3rd down. 8 carries, 115 yards, and 2 touchdowns now for Bomert. Corey Potvin in to punt it away. Potvin takes the snap and gets an end-over-end kick away. It bounds at the 34, and Freddie Anthony will watch it die at the 32. That's where Spring Lake Park will take over 1st and 10 with 4:37 to go before half. Trailing 14-0 here against the 4th-ranked Zephyrs. You're talking about Gary, though, 0 for 7 with an interception last week. So obviously passing not a huge part of either one of these teams' repertoires offensively. It hasn't stopped them. They come into this game, Mahtomedi 4-0. Spring Lake Park 3-1. Their only loss to Chanhassen, 28-14 a couple weeks ago. Talso gives it to Green, who gets across the 30 out to the 32. Started officially on the 28, so a pickup of 3, maybe 4. You really can't trust that scoreboard. Green and Brown again in the backfield behind Talso. He takes, he'll keep it himself. Dvorak grabs him around the neck and wrestles him down at about the 34. So a pickup of 3. It sets up 3rd and 4. Talso has called his own number a lot more tonight. Keeping it, faking to the tailback, and then following them as blockers. 3rd and 4 from the 36-yard line, 34-yard line. Talso fakes it, keeps it, bursts through a hole, steps out of an ankle tackle, and picks up the 1st down out to the 45-yard line. A nice gain of 11 on that carry for Braden Talso. He must be seeing something in terms of how Mahtomedi is defending Spring Lake Park, where he feels like he can gain positive yardage. Tripped up eventually by Javon Harvey, but not before he picked up a 1st down. Now it's back to Lamari Brown. Speaking of tripping up, he gets ankle tackled by the Zephyrs number 27, Mason Hughes. Comes in from his safety spot to trip up Brown. But a positive gain on 1st down of 6 into the Zephyrs territory at the 49. Second and 4, clock under 3 minutes to go before half. Talso pitches wide for Smith. Smith bounces it outside. Now he cuts it back inside. He's got 1st down yardage inside the 45 to the 44. Nice little gainer of 5 yards on the option play. Jackson Smith moves the chains for the Spring Lake Park. Smith eventually brought down by Nicholas Rollinger. So it's 1st and 10 now. He remains in there along with Brown in the backfield. Give to Lamari Brown, puts his foot in the ground, but he's immediately swallowed up by big number 56, Eric Butke. No gain on the play. He saw the wash moving left, and he tried to cut it back upfield. And now John Stewart takes a timeout with 2:17 remaining before half. So Dave Metzel and company talking things over as Stewart assesses his situations. Two timeouts remain for the Panthers. Just 2 minutes and 17 seconds left in the second quarter. A massive drive for both teams, clearly. Spring Lake Park has to get points. They do not want to be trailing by 2 touchdowns heading into the break. And they really don't have a offense that can come back very well. As you take a look at the Suburban Blues standings, as we said, a big game tonight for Robbinsdale Armstrong playing Chanhassen with an undefeated record on the line. Cooper having a real down year at 1-3. They've played a tough schedule. Spring Lake Park has already beaten Irondale last week. So the Panthers just trying to keep pace with Robbinsdale Armstrong, whom they'll face in the last game of the regular season. 2nd and 10 from the 44. Play action pass, looping it over out of the reach of Lamari Brown. Again, pressure in the backfield from Mahtomedi, and that caused the errant throw. Eric Butke and big number 66 putting pressure on Braden Talso, forcing him to loop that more than he wanted to. 3rd and 10 from the 44. 2-down territory for the Panthers. 2:12 to go. Talso hit, pitches wide. What a catch by K-John Green. He breaks tackles. Green spinning his way down near first down territory. And I think he's going to be a half-yard short, if that. But let's look at that again. Look at the catch on this pitch by K-John Green, one-handed. And then he breaks a couple tackles before Javon Harvey tried to tackle him up high. The athleticism of K-John Green. John Stewart takes a timeout. That stops the clock with 2:02 left. Or actually, I don't think he did take a timeout. I think there's an official's timeout to measure. Panthers all down on the knee right near Stewart. I think it's going to be about 4 or 5 inches short. Looked like it was maybe a quarter yard short. And I was wrong. Spring Lake Park first down by the nose of the football. How about the effort from K-John Green? It was Thomas Metzel. Metzel hit Braden Talso. Again, got penetration into the backfield. Talso forced to pitch it sooner than he wanted to, but the concentration from K-John Green to grab it one-handed and then make something happen as he evaded a couple tacklers, broke some tackles, and powered his way to the first down on 3rd and 10. Clock is actually stopped with 1:47 left, although I'm wondering if they're going to try to reset it. John Stewart wanting to consult with the head referee. It was at 2:02, now it's at 1:47. Are they going to reset it or leave it as is? Yep, 2:02 back on the clock. 1st and 10 for the Panthers from the Mahtomedi 34. Talso off the play fake. Airs it out. It's got Mikey Say down there. It's tipped off of the fingertips of Say and incomplete. Well defended on the play once more by Nicholas Rollinger. But what a beautiful ball from Braden Talso as he took a hit. As he let that go, William Harris among others. And just the last minute deflection from Rollinger took it away from Say. Otherwise, that would have been a 34-yard touchdown pass. 2nd and 10 now. Receivers right and left. Talso fakes the pitch, turns it upfield for 1. Comes up a little ginger. I have to imagine with how much pounding Braden Talso takes every game that he never feels 100% after a game. Third down, quick snap. Talso pitches it wide for Smith. He puts his foot in the ground, and he's slung forward by the defender, Cole Senger. Decent pickup on third down. That does force John Stewart to take another timeout, however. Stops the clock with 1:25 remaining. A well-timed pitch, and Smith, again, just tried to cut it back against the grain. Senger eventually making the stop. Managed to pick up 7, though, on third down. It sets up a manageable 4th and 3 from the 27-yard line. Panthers trail the Zephyrs 14-0 here. Number 4 leading number 8. Absolutely packed house here at Panther Stadium on homecoming. Ball rests on the 27-yard line. Line to gain is the 24. Massive play coming up right here. 4th and 3. And that is an awful time for a false start. Right side of the line moved for Spring Lake Park, and the Panthers commit their first penalty of the game. As you see that right side, Jack Torborg just flinching early. And what was 4th and 3 is now 4th and 8. You can hardly blame the kids for wanting to come off firing. So we said just the first penalty of the game on Spring Lake Park. 4th and 8. Talso rolling near side, throwing, it's caught and knocked out of bounds. I can't believe a flag didn't come in for a hold, but the Panthers may have caught a break as that completion picks up first down yardage. 12 yards, as you'll see, right in front of Talso. A hold could have easily been called, but instead it's a good completion and a well-designed play to move the chains. Stops the clock with 1:20 to go. 12-yard gain on 4th down. Talso gives to the first man through, and he's driven back. Great gang tackling again by Mahtomedi, Cody Dvorak, and John Paul Johnson. As Freddie Anthony getting a lot of carries tonight. And that no gain forces John Stewart to take another timeout. Second and 10 now from the 20 coming up with the clock stopped at 1:05. This is where having a passing offense would really help, because obviously going out of bounds and incompletions and whatnot stops the clock. Pick up big chunks of yards that way, but this ball control option offense is awesome when you've built up a lead and you're trying to grind the clock away and play ball control, but a little tougher when you're trailing by 2 touchdowns. Still a lot of football left, however, as Braden Talso considers his options. Mahtomedi's defense has allowed Spring Lake Park to move the football tonight, but they have bent but not broken. Still pitching the shutout here late second quarter. Talso takes, little trickeration, pitches it for Lamari Brown. He's got the corner. Brown cuts it back up, and he'll be just shy of the first down. Give him 9 to the 11, maybe the 10.5. Clock continues to roll. Spring Lake Park is out of timeouts. Now they might think about clocking it. No, maybe they can't. 3rd and 1. Talso takes. He's going to keep it himself. He'll thought about pitching it. Finally, he cups it upfield, and he makes the right decision inside the 5, or maybe right at the 5. Clock stops with 30.8 seconds to go. Panthers trying to punch it in before halftime. Ball spotted on the 4-yard line of Mahtomedi. Tauso will clock it there. So it'll be second and goal. 27.8 seconds remaining before half. Get a couple different substitutions in. Almost one of those situations where you want to have 2 plays called. Maybe get something to the boundary. Tauso with a great decision, though, to keep it himself and just turn it upfield. Managed to pick up 7 on that last carry. Second and goal, 27 seconds left. Tauso takes to the first man through, reaching for the goal line. No signal yet. Touchdown, Panthers! Kayshawn Green muscles his way in from 4 yards out, and a much-needed touchdown just before the break for Mahtomedi. He is an absolute load, and Kayshawn Green breaks the goal line for his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. And now they're an extra point away from cutting this lead in half. Carter Smith on. He's 10 of 11 for extra points this season. Low snap, dug out. Smith manages to split the uprights anyway. Smith now 11 for 12 as Kayshawn Green. Some hard-earned yards between the tackles, and boy, Spring Lake Park needed that touchdown. What a drive for the Panthers. Punching it in with less than 22 seconds remaining before half. 14-7 now. Panthers trail the 4th-ranked Mahtomedi Zephyrs. Spring Lake Park fight song to the tune of On Wisconsin. Or rather, Go You Northwestern. That's what it is. It's the Northwestern fight song. That's not Wisconsin. That's Northwestern. I'm a Chicago guy. I should know that. Mahtomedi with 2 timeouts left of their own, but I have to imagine they'll just probably take a knee and be satisfied being up 7 on the road in this top 10 Class 5A matchup. Bomert feels it at his own 6. Charging out through a big hole, Corey Bomert, watch out, and he's tackled finally at the 47-yard line. But Bomert with a 42-yard return. He is just an all-purpose machine. Returning kicks, punts, doing it all as you see him with a head of steam in between defenders and wasn't even touched until the 30. Finally stopped up at the 45, so give him 39 on that return. Over 200 yards of all-purpose offense, and Bomert on the first carry. Still on his feet. Finally gang tackled by Spring Lake Park, but not before he picks up a really hard-earned 12 into Spring Lake Park territory, and that's where the Zephyrs will burn a timeout with 4.5 seconds left. Well, he is as advertised, Corey Bomert. As you see this carry, and he's getting big holes. His offensive line is doing a great job of clearing out holes, and then he'll hit those holes and hit them hard as finally Markel Taylor wrestled him down like he was in a calf roping contest. We'll do the math and get you the totals for Bomert. Was a pickup of 12. You don't often see a bell cow back, certainly at the pro level, but high school it's still a thing, and why wouldn't you with Corey Bomert? Have to imagine they'll check it to the end zone on this one. Should be the last play of the half. Send a man in motion. Air it out. And it's hauled in, reaching for the goal line. Touchdown! Zephyrs, a 43-yard touchdown with no time remaining here in the first half. It's Gary to Barry for 6. Mikey Say was there, but the ball was just placed better, and it was ultimately hauled in by Michael Berry, and that is a killer blow for the Panthers. There was no safety help over the top. It's going to be an untimed down, so we'll see if the Zephyrs go for 2 as they have on their previous 2 touchdowns. But with 4.5 seconds left, that was all set up by the run of Bomer to get them in a position where they could throw a Hail Mary like that, or just a fly route really down the sideline, and that's all it took. Gary rolling to his right, throwing man wide open, caught for the 2-point conversion. Caught on the play by Ramsey Morrell, the University of Marybound tight end, and this half ended in just about the worst possible way for Spring Lake Park. Mahtomedi puts up 3 touchdowns, including a touchdown pass with no time remaining. And Corey Bomer, the star of the show in that first half for the Zephyrs. They lead Panthers 22-7 at the break. Be back with highlights and analysis and more from Panther Stadium in just a moment here on North Metro TV. (22-7), Panthers find themselves trailing by a couple touchdowns here at halftime on homecoming. As we take a look at our first half highlights, you know, it was a lot of big plays. It was a lot of that man, Corey Bomer, star running back for Mahtomedi. Kayshawn Green would answer, but Corey Bomer in that first half, just a tremendous line. 10 rushes, 129 yards, 2 scores, and a 2-point conversion. This is a big 4th down pickup for Kayshawn Green, but a killer play here as Gary goes up top to Barry, 43 yards as time expired in the first half, and Corey Beaumont and company are absolutely in command here. Certainly a lot of football left to play, but see Beaumont's line. Look at that, 10 carries, 129 yards. He's right at his yards per carry season average, and a couple scores, trying to keep pace with Matt McAnally, the leading rusher in the state from Waconia, who had himself a game last night with 167 yards and 4 scores. But whether it's been returning punts, returning kicks, and obviously in the backfield, Corey Beaumont has been the man. He's been as advertised so far in this game. 5 runs over 10 yards, 10, 12, 15, 37, and 44. So he has been Mr. Big Play tonight for Mahtomedi, and the Zephyrs will get the football to start the second half after they won the coin toss and deferred to the second half. And John Stewart, you wonder what his message was to his boys at halftime. But certainly you expect Mahtomedi to feed Corey Beaumont in the second half, as the ball is teed up at the 40-yard line. Carter Smith set to do the honors. And Beaumont back deep to receive for the Zephyrs, standing at his own 10-yard line. Second half underway, and the squib kick will be fielded by the up back at the 25-yard line. That is the fullback for Mahtomedi, Cole Senger, and he's tackled out across the 30, so good starting field position once more for Mahtomedi as they go to work offensively. Samuel Gary didn't come in with impressive passing numbers, just 95 yards, but he slung it up there nice from 43 yards away, and the senior connected with his teammate Michael Berry for his second touchdown catch of the season. So from the 34-yard line, Bomert, lone tailback, he'll take the pitch coming near side. He cuts it back. Nice job by Sevion Taylor, Jackson Smith, among others, rallying to the football to hold Bomert to just 2. As you see, he put a foot in the ground, and Sevion Taylor was there to force him back inside. You just cannot let a kid with his kind of speed bounce it out to the outside. 2nd and 8 now from the 36. Play action. Rolling near side, flipping. He's got Ramsey Morrell, who lost his footing. Beg your pardon, actually. That's Senger. Caught it, slipped and fell short of the first down at the 43. Nice play design, though. You got to respect the play action to Bomert. And he just flipped it out there, and Senger slipped and fell on the wet turf. Brings up 3rd and 1. I formation behind Gary. Gives to Senger, and Senger is stacked up and driven back. They're going to give him a real generous spot. I'm not sure he even got back to the line to gain, but they're going to make it close. And that'll be enough, I think, for a first down. I thought Kyrie Shaw and company drove him back before he got to the first down yardage marker, but they're giving him the first down, and so move the chains for Mahtomedi here on their first possession of the second half. Turn, give to Bomert in between the tackles, picking his way into Spring Lake Park territory. A nice gain on first down of 9 down to the 46-yard line. He's just so patient following his blockers and then lowering the boom as Freddie Anthony and Sevion Taylor combine to make the stop after a gain of 9. 2nd and 1 at the 47. Receivers right and left. Bomert again in between the tackles. Positive yardage inside the 45, down to the 43, maybe the 42. More modest gain now as Bomert just content to plug away. Pickup of 3 on first down for Bomert. Mahtomedi marching with a 2-score lead, looking to add more. Bomert again on the carry, again with a head of steam inside the 40 down to the 37. Hard running for 6. Sets up 3rd and a couple.
And they go to the tackle for the Panthers. 2nd down and 5.
Must have picked up a first down in that last one because it's 2nd down and 5 now. He's carried it 3 straight plays now, has Corey Bomert. On 2nd down, he takes the pitch, cuts it back inside, and trying to get to the edge, and does. Corey Bomert with a burst of speed, and he's forced out of bounds eventually by Sevion Taylor, who's going to get called for a late hit. Bomert had stepped out of bounds, and Taylor gave him a shove at the end of the play, but not before he'd picked up another big chunk play from scrimmage. And that was just not smart. He stepped out of bounds. He'd been out of bounds, and Bomert shoved to the dirt, to the turf rather, after clearly having stepped out of bounds. Moves the football half the distance down to the 10 to the 5-yard line. That's where the Zephyrs will have it first and goal. Another big rushing play of 23 yards. Now the officials take a timeout to talk something over. The ball spotted at the 5-yard line. Things are just getting bad to worse for Spring Lake Park. From the 37 down to the 10. So a rush of 27. Bowman on this drive alone has picked up, and he runs to the end zone for the touchdown. Corey Bowman in from 5 yards, his third rushing touchdown of the night, extends Mahtomedi's lead. Took the pitch and walked into the end zone. Zephyrs will attempt the 2-point. Nope, they will kick it for the first time tonight. Sebastian De La Torre on for the extra point. And it's no good. Not even close. So 28-7 is our score. 51 rushing yards on that drive for that man, Corey Bowman. On 6 carries. So additional 6 carries. So trying to do some quick math here. 16 rushes for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns now on the night. And he came in averaging 221 yards a game, and he has done nothing to hurt that average. Corey Bowman. And obviously the frustration for Spring Lake Park showing with that late hit out of bounds. Not that it changed much. Moved the ball half the distance to the goal line, but Panthers will get the football to start with. Will get the football for the first time in this second half. Fielded at the 5-yard line. Lamari Brown with a good return out across the 25 to the 26. Something about homecoming here, and the Panthers not liking it. They played Robbinsdale Cooper last year on homecoming here at Spring Lake Park and lost 35-7. We're in danger of the same thing here. Tale of 2 years, right? This series 2 years old now. Spring Lake Park going to Mahtomedi last year and blowing out the Zephyrs 35-7. The Zephyrs returning the favor so far here on the Panthers' home field. Jackson Smith gets the call on first down, and he gains 1 out to the 37. Eight minutes to go, third quarter. Second down and 9 from the 27. Anthony and Green, the 2 backs behind Tauso. They'll give to Kayshawn Green, and Kayshawn Green fumbles the football. Mahtomedi thinks they have it, and they do. Zephyrs turn Spring Lake Park over for the second time tonight. Second fumble of the game. Kayshawn Green's had some trouble with fumbles, and he lost another one there, as he just ran into his own blockers seemingly. Ball popped out, and Eric Butke fell on it for Mahtomedi. And now the Zephyrs have a real opportunity to salt this one away. The ball at the 30-yard line of Spring Lake Park. Gary, quick drop, throwing near side for Barry. He makes the catch, and he's tackled the 30-yard line, or rather the inside the 20-yard line down to the 19. So a pickup of 11 on first down. Mahtomedi with a real chance to put the proverbial dagger in Spring Lake Park here, as Wayne Larrabee might say on a Packer broadcast. Receivers right and left from the 19. Gary turns and pitches to Bomer. Bomer with a head of steam thunders his way down, knocked out of bounds right near the first down yardage, right near the first down mark. He'll be just shy, pickup of 9 for Bomer. (28-7) our score. Zephyrs with the football and driving. Facing 2nd and 1 from the Spring Lake Park 10-yard line. Gary plows forward on that quarterback keeper near the 5-yard line. He's got enough for first and goal as he picks up about 5. Now you have to imagine it'll be Bomer time again. He's got 180 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns tonight. I formation behind Gary, who's under center. He turns and pitches to Beaumont, running left, bounces it outside, breaking tackles, and finally Spring Lake Park stops him up for a no gain. Good job rallying to the football by the Panthers. Makes it 2nd and goal. Jackson Smith been active tonight, toting the rock and also chasing down Bomer. Second and goal from the 5. Play action. Throwing, end zone, touchdown. Ramsey Morrell. And the route is officially on here at Spring Lake Park. Morrell's already got a touchdown, or a 2-point conversion tonight. Now he's got a touchdown off the play fake. Just a little drag across the end zone, and Morrell had a step on Freddie Anthony. And has 2 of their 5 touchdowns through the air. Big Ramsey Morrell, the University of Mary bound tight end, now has a 2-point conversion and 6 to his name tonight. De La Torre will try the extra point again, and this time it's through. 35-7. The exact scoreline that Spring Lake Park beat Mahtomedi last year. Now the Zephyrs are returning the favor on the Panthers' home field here on homecoming. Mahtomedi, they've had some impressive scores. I mean, they've given up points. You look at their scores: 36-6 over Apple Valley, 33-17 over CDH, 46-21 against Hill Murray, and 36-14 over Tartan. So they were beating teams comfortably, not necessarily crushing teams, but they are certainly looking every bit the part of a top 5 Class 5A team tonight. Lamari Brown back deep to receive this kickoff. 35-7 our score. It's been 3 Beaumont rushing touchdowns and 2 through the air as Brown fields it at the 10 and comes back with speed. Lamari Brown hits the hole hard and pushes the pile out past the 35 to the 37. Spring Lake Park. Tough test on the road next week. Robbinsdale Cooper may be a little down this year, but they're still good. Panthers have Cooper and Tartan after this before finishing the season at Robbinsdale Armstrong, and obviously that's going to be as tough a test as they have on the schedule this year. Talso follows his blocker up the hole, drags defenders before he's eventually dragged down from behind by Javon Harvey. Alec Mahoney sticks his neck in there as well. But first down yardage for Braden Talso, who's been the most effective rusher tonight for the Panthers. Gain of 11 out to the 48. Again, Panthers have been able to move the ball on Mahtomedi tonight, but turnovers, a turnover on downs, 2 fumbles have been the cause of their demise as Talso again nears first down yardage. He'll have enough, I think, or maybe he'll do just shy. Depends on the spot. Never know whether to look at the near side official or the far. They are going to give him enough for the first down, though, so a pickup of 10, move the chains. 2 straight rushing first downs for Braden Talso. Clock runs inside of 5 minutes here in the third quarter. 35-7 our score. Panthers trail it. Talso again decides to keep it himself. He slips underneath the attempted tackle of Andrew Brian. And he manages to pick up positive yardage. I guess they didn't move the chains on that last one. That moves the chains. As the Panthers have it 1st and 10 at the Mahtomedi 36-yard line. Unusual 3 receivers in the pattern now for Spring Lake Park. Talso keeps it, decides to pitch it to Brown last minute. He cuts it back upfield. He'll have a first down to the 25. Gain of 11 on that pitch. And again, if you watch it here, Talso just knowing the exact moment when to pitch it. He kind of fools the defense and ultimately allows Lamari Brown to get plenty of room to run. He just kind of froze number 28 Nicholas Rollinger for Mahtomedi and ultimately faked him out and got the pitch to Brown, who did the rest. 1st and 10 now from the 25. Give to Freddie Anthony, who's trying to churn his legs and break free. Actually, that was Lamari Brown, I should say, who toted the rock there. And in a couple of years, Brown will be able to take. In a couple of years, Brown will be able to break that tackle. Just not enough lower body strength for the freshman. He's got all the speed and the shiftiness that you want. And it'll be about adding strength for the young man in the years to come. Mahtomedi decides to take its first time out of the half, facing their defense facing 2nd and 7 from the 22 with 3:10 left. Quick check of the scoreboard. Andover leading Buffalo 45-7. East Ridge 13-0 over undefeated Woodbury in a big game. Farmington on top of Edina 24-10. Curious to see the Armstrong score. So Armstrong got out to a 21-0 lead, and Chanhassen has clawed back to a 21-14 deficit. So Armstrong flew out to that 3-touchdown lead. Chanhassen has gotten a couple back, and that's been as advertised tonight. Quick throw to the near side. Kirkendall makes the catch. And He's tackled after he picks up a first down to the 13. Spring Lake Park has dropped the pass at smart times tonight. They've thrown it better than they normally do. Smith and Green in the backfield behind Tauso on 1st and 10 from the 13. Tauso keeps it himself, and he's tackled from behind. Great pursuit by, among others, Brett Swiston. I beg your pardon, Michael Castle, the junior, making the stop. Tauso able to get back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. They wanted to give that to Jackson Smith in hindsight, but the pursuit was good from Mahtomedi. Second down now from the 13. Panthers need points. Tauso takes it, pitches last minute to Brown. He slips inside a tackle and is again flung forward. Mahtomedi keeps tackling him from behind and then flinging him forward for another extra yard or two. Gets down to the 6, call it 7 on second down. Brown will get spelled by Jackson Smith. Just the instincts, though, from Lamari Brown, very impressive, and Panther fans have to be excited about what he could be in the coming years. Green and Smith in the backfield. Tauso gives to Smith up the gut, reaching for the goal line. Touchdown, Spring Lake Park. Smith stretched out his big 6-foot frame, and he fell across the goal line from 6 yards out. Just kind of slipped in between defenders. He's tackled into the end zone for the second rushing touchdown of the night. Smith on to tack on the extra point and does to make it 35-14. Panthers get one back as we have just a minute 37 left in the third quarter. So now Green and Smith, the two rushing touchdowns tonight for Spring Lake Park. Those coming late in the second quarter and late in the third quarter. That was the real turning point, right? You had it at 14-7, but what a backbreaker it was to give up the touchdown right before the half after you'd cut the deficit in half. It was 14-7. And I foolishly thought that Mahtomedi was going to maybe kneel on it a couple times. But a big return and a nice run on first down got them to where they could throw a fade route. And 2 plays later, they were in the end zone. And that was killer. Talk about momentum shifts, all in the favor of the Navy and white. Mahtomedi with the hands team up now, clearly expecting an onside kick. They lead it here by 3 touchdowns on the road. We'll have Thursday night football for you next week, as Matt Dean and I will be at Blaine for Centennial at Blaine. Little squib kick fielded by Rollinger, who just falls on it at the 27. I'd expect a heavy dose of Corey Bomert now. Came in with 69 carries on the season, and he's already got 16 to add to that. Maybe a backup, but Sam Gary has done a really nice job. Gary normally filling in for Brandt. 1st and 10 from the 28. And he'll fake the pitch and keep it himself. He's got first down yardage and then some, as Gary's eventually tripped up in front of his own bench at the 45. Might have been a broken play or a little trickeration. Everyone went right. Gary faked the pitch and kept it himself for 17. Yep, just kind of followed the rusher, made something out of nothing. Good blocking downfield, and A good pickup on first down for Mahtomedi. Drops the football. Spring Lake Park wrestles it away. Are they going to say it was recovered initially? Panthers football. Kyrie Shaw falls on the fumble for the Panthers. And Spring Lake Park gets a turnover they desperately needed. As you see, Gary tried to fall back on it, but Shaw was stronger, and he was the one that came out of the pile with the football. So that gives Spring Lake Park the ball on the Mahtomedi 43-yard line with 1:07 to go here in the third. Brown and Green in the backfield behind Tauso. He'll take and give it to Green. He cuts back. Green dragging defenders. Boy, Javon Harvey has been taken for a ride tonight, but he is always in the mix. And he finally drags Green down, I should say, after a pickup of 6. Inside of a minute left in the third. Maybe time for one more play. Lamari Brown steps out of an ankle tackle, bounces it outside. And he picks up first down yardage and more down to the 25. Big run from Lamari Brown of 18. .22 seconds remaining as you see him step out of a tackle. Finally dragged down by Rollinger in the second level. 10 seconds left. Final play of the third. Tauso takes, pitches for Green. And Green trips up, and the turf monster got him at the 22. Oh, he had some room to run as well. But instead, it's a minimal gain of 3 as time expires here in the third quarter. An eventful third quarter as was. Mahtomedi got a couple touchdowns, but the Panthers got a touchdown of their own, and they're driving, nearing the red zone here as we head to the fourth. 35-14 our score here on North Metro TV. Start of the fourth quarter here at Panther Stadium as Sweet Caroline plays over the public address, and even the whiteout-clad Mahtomedi students getting into the act. The kids, they love Sweet Caroline. Panthers face 2nd and 8 from the 22, trailing by 3 scores, but trying to cash in on the first Mahtomedi turnover of the game. Jackson Smith and Kayshawn Green, the tailbacks behind Braden Tauso. Tauso keeps it, and he is flung down. Well read on the play by number 21, Cody Dvorak. Dvorak has been heavily involved tonight along with Thomas Metzel, and he was not fooled as Tauso could have handed it to Smith, kept it himself, and Dvorak made the stop. Loss of 3 back to the 25. Makes it 3rd and 11 now. We call it 3rd and 10. Can't trust that scoreboard. They need to reach the 15. Tauso pitches it this time to Smith. He's got a head of steam, but he's tracked down from behind. Excellent pursuit on the play by Cole Singer. Singer listed as a running back, but he has made his impact, or he's a fullback technically, but he has made his impact felt defensively tonight as well. Good pursuit from his linebacker spot to track down Smith. at the 19-yard line. Brings up 4th down and 4. This was always going to be 2-down territory for Spring Lake Park, so no panic. Got what they needed, 6 yards on that play. And now they face a 4th and 4. Talso takes near side, pitching to Kayshawn Green. He lowers the boom. Green reaching, he's going to be short. Stopped up at the 16-yard line. He needed 4, he got 3. And for the second time tonight, Spring Lake Park turns the football over on downs. Zephyrs take over with 10.5 minutes left to play in the game. As you see, Talso pitched it at the right moment. Impressive tackle on the play as Andrew Brian, the cornerback, stuck his head in there and took the brunt of Kayshawn Green. But he slowed him up enough to make the stop, and now Mahtomedi takes over 1st and 10 at their own 16. Boehmert gets the call, tries to pick his way through defenders, only gets a couple. Now expect to see a heavy dose of him. Spotted at the 19, so I'm gonna give him 2. Gary pitches to Boehmert. He cuts it back inside, and he's eventually tripped up. Good pursuit on the play by a couple pursuers, including Connor Larson. Big number 53. Boehmert did get it out to the 23-yard line, though, so give him 4 on that rush. 3rd and 4. Play action. Gary rolling far side, throwing. He's dropped. His receiver had it and then dropped it. Dropped by Sather on the far side. And so that 3 and out is just what Spring Lake Park needed. They'll get the football back with still plenty of time left to work. 9:05 remaining. But hey, Mahtomedi ended up taking a couple minutes off the clock, and now presumably they'll punt it away. Freddie Anthony back deep to receive for the Panthers. Carries, 187 yards and 3 touchdowns tonight for Corey Boehmert. Guy we highlighted in the pregame as Coach Metzel takes a timeout for Mahtomedi. Their second charge timeout as he talks to Tyler Gunderson. A lot of coachable moments tonight for both coaches. There's big plays all over the place. '80s music continuing with Don't Stop Believing as we take a look at the upcoming schedule. Zephyrs, Coach Metzel still teaching, still coaching with his team up 3 touchdowns here in the 4th. As you take a look at Spring Lake Park's upcoming schedule, as we said, a couple trips to Robbinsdale in their future. Going to Cooper for the rare 5 p.m. game. That's, I believe, next Saturday, potentially. And then they host Tartan in the last home game of the year, and then end the season at Robbinsdale Armstrong. Potvin gets off a punt, nearly blocked by Kyrie Shaw. Anthony fields it at his own 47-yard line. Good return by Freddie Anthony as he's driven into his own bench, but not before he picks up 18 on that punt return and gives his team excellent field position to start. 36-yard line of the Zephyrs is where Spring Lake Park takes over. Panthers will go to work 1st and 10, down 3 scores with just under 9 minutes to play. Smith and Green in the backfield behind Talso. 3-step drop. Throwing, it's caught by Mikey Say. He's gang tackled right at the 29-yard line. So a nice pickup of 7 on 1st down. Now we'll see Talso and company probably go to the air a little bit more with time not on their side. I'd like to see them get Lamari Brown involved in the passing game a little bit. We saw what he could do there. Talso pulled it out of the belly. A great ankle tackle made by William Harris. And now we've got some shoving back and forth. Flags have come flying as a couple players got tangled up. Have to imagine this will be offsetting penalties. Looked like Cody Dvorak was one of the players involved. Couldn't see who it was from Spring Lake Park, but Talso, there was such pursuit in the backfield. I think he intended to hand it to Green, but then decided he didn't want the play to get blown up, but it was blown up anyway. William Harris, the senior linebacker, making the stop. And no, Mahtomedi gets called for the infraction. As you see, Dvorak, he gets whacked. And of course, and then he kind of gives a little forearm shiver to the offensive lineman. It's always the retaliation, because that offensive lineman came flying in and hit Dvorak as the play was ending. But that personal foul moves the football inside the red zone down to the 19. So Spring Lake Park will go to work on 1st down with 8:09 to go. Talso runs into his own man, finally pitches it to Jackson Smith, and he bulldozes his way down to the 13, a gain of 6. Not the smoothest option play you'll ever see, but it was effective, and it picked up 6. 2nd and 4 now from the 13. Again, the clock continues to run. Spring Lake Park trying to make this one interesting. Brown in the backfield alongside Smith. Give to Smith up the gut. He splits defenders, charging inside the 5, down to the 3. 10-yard gain, move the chains. It's 1st and goals, SLP. They'll go up to the line quickly, as you see. Just 2 hands on the ball, ball security. 1st and goal from the 3. Smith again on the carry. Driving the pile into the end zone for the touchdown. Jackson Smith finds pay dirt for the 2nd time tonight. And all of a sudden, Spring Lake Park could cut this to a 2-touchdown game. As you see, just driving, just backing into the end zone from 3 yards out. Got a 6-yard and a 3-yard rushing touchdown. Whistle comes in and stops play as we've got a flag down that negates the good extra point made by Carter Smith. Offside on Mahtomedi. So Smith will do this again. Crowd still very, very good here on homecoming. Not many people have left, despite the Panthers having trailed at one point 35-7. 2 Jackson Smith rushing touchdowns have cut the deficit to 2 touchdowns. Smith tacks on another extra point. He makes it 35-21. you like offense, this is the game for you. We've had big plays in offense all night. And Jackson Smith, just such a physical presence. The Panthers co-captain has delivered offensively here tonight around the goal line. Just hard-nosed between the tackles, running, 2 hands on the football. And certainly Kayshawn Green may see his workload reduced a little bit after he fumbled. Both teams actually had issues with fumbles in the first possession. But yeah, Panthers have lost 2 of those fumbles and also turned it over on downs twice tonight. Otherwise, this might be an even closer game. 35-21 our score. You can see 7:05 remaining in the football game. Hands team up for Mahtomedi. No one, well, 2 players technically back. Boehmert would usually be deep. Instead, I don't even see him out there. We'll see if they decide to squib it or onside kick it, and they pooch it into their own bench. So the flag comes flying. And the best laid plans, as they say. Well, I think it's the best laid plans of mice and men or something. I'm not sure. I just wanted to trail off and sound profound. And I think I accomplished that. .42-yard line is where the Zephyrs will start 1st and 10. I formation, Boehmert still in there. They could use an extended drive, and the ball's on the ground. It's loose. Spring Lake Park has it. Panthers pounce on the loose football. And this crowd is starting to believe. Like that one Journey song. 7 minutes to go. They give it to the first man through, and the fullback, Cole Senger, fumbled it. Great job by the defender who came in and poked it free. And the fumble was recovered by Savion Taylor. So now Spring Lake Park takes over with it at the 45 of Mahtomedi. 35-21, Panthers trail it. They had a touchdown late in the 3rd, one midway through the 4th. What can they do now? Trailing by 14. And they've got, I believe, a new quarterback in there. Indeed, that is not Braden Talso. That is the backup quarterback, number 82, Tyler Wilkinson, a freshman. Braden Talso is on the sideline without his helmet on. And so, Wilkinson was lucky not to fumble that ball as he was hit from behind. So the backup quarterback in is Tyler Wilkinson, hands it up the gut for Lamari Brown. Breaking tackles, Brown still going down to the 30-yard line. Nice pickup of 14 by the freshman. And he's excited. Slash a little hurt as he jogs gingerly to the sideline. Braden Talso, as you see, sitting next to the trainers. Doesn't appear like he's coming in this game anytime soon. How about this? Freshman trying to lead Spring Lake Park back, down 2 touchdowns on homecoming. Wilkinson keeps it. Thought about giving it to Kayshawn Green, decided to keep it for himself, and he fell forward a yard. And now John Stewart decides to use his first timeout to stop the clock with 5:46 left. What a time for this freshman to be inserted. He's played some backup minutes once a couple of these games against like the likes of Benilde-St. Margaret's had been decided, but now talk about a pressure cooker coming in against this hard-hitting, physical, fast Mahtomedi defense. after your team has scored the last 2 touchdowns and made this a 2-score game. John Stewart talking to the boys on the sideline. Wilkinson, just a freshman, handing off to another freshman in Lamari Brown. No word on Braden Talso's condition or why he's out, but he is, as we said, he's taken some hard shots tonight. So certainly don't want to speculate on why he's not in this game, but obviously this is a time Spring Lake Park would love to have their senior co-captain available. Instead, Wilkinson trying to get pepped up by Kayshawn Green. It's him, Green, and Jackson Smith in the backfield. Back to pass. Wilkinson airs it out, looking for Mikey Say. He's turned around, and a flag comes down at the 3. Might this be pass interference on Mahtomedi? They're certainly surrounding the ref who threw the flag. Wilkinson is demonstrated his fantastic arm. Showed off some skills there, and it's actually on Say. Pass interference on Mikey Say. As they said, he shoved off trying to get separation, but you see the loose arm of Wilkinson, easily strong enough. I don't know how you call that. That's not for me to say. But regardless, the ball moved back to the 44-yard line of Spring Lake Park. Didn't look like there was much in it from our vantage point, but the call was the call, and it's a big one. As they've got to reach the 20-yard line, and they're facing 2nd and 24. Wilkinson fakes it, keeps it himself, ducks inside. He stood up and driven down by the Zephyrs. Alec Mahoney leading the charge. But Wilkinson with some good poise to rip off a nice 12-yard gain down to the 30, call it the 33. Third and 13 as the clock ticks inside of nearing 5 minutes left in the 4th. 4 receivers in the pattern. Green, the lone setback behind Wilkinson. Wilkinson turns, pitches to Lamari Brown. The play is strung out. Mahtomedi had it sniffed out, and they drop Brown for a loss back to the 37. Cole Sanger, among others. Wilkinson actually falling down, and the rhythm of the play just not good from the start. Javon Harvey and others swarming to the ball to take down Lamari Brown in the backfield, and Sanger forced to burn his 2nd timeout. Eric Radoy down on the bench talking to Braden Talso. Meanwhile, John Stewart talking to his charges. Dave Metzel doing the same on the Mahtomedi sideline. Credit to the Panthers for making this a ball game. It was at one point 35-7. 2 straight Jackson Smith rushing touchdowns have made things interesting, as well as some carelessness, some sloppiness offensively for Mahtomedi here in the 2nd half. Fumbled it away on 2 consecutive possessions. Wasn't expecting to see a hockey helmet tonight, but hey, hockey season, collegiate level anyway, starting tomorrow. So this is the game. 4th and 16. They need to reach the 20. Wilkinson under center. 3-step drop. Back to pass. Airs it out down the right side, and it's just going to be picked off by Mahtomedi. Hollinger was waiting for it like a punt, and he's tackled at the 31-yard line, and that should be it. Nice game tonight for Nicholas Rollinger. Double-digit tackles and now an interception to his name as Wilkinson just not on the same page, kind of hucked it up there and no one was home. Easy interception for Rollinger, and Spring Lake Park turns it over for the third time tonight. 2 fumbles and now an interception. 4.5 minutes left to play. Corey Bomert time, you'd have to figure. Turn and pitch to Bomert, coming left, cuts it inside, hasn't even been touched until he gets to the second level, and he's finally tackled, and now he grabs his calf. He may be dealing with cramping issues. Ultimately, he's tackled at the 47, a big gain of 17 as he goes over the 200-yard mark for the night. As you see, he's got that tape around the calf. $17-yard pickup on that first down run for Bomert. And again, he went 10 yards before he was even touched. Gary turns and gives to Senger, first man through. He fumbled the last time. He's not fumbling now, driving the legs forward inside the 40 down to the 37. 16 yards again on the ground as Senger had 2 hands around that ball. Clock stops momentarily while they move the chains, but Mahtomedi earning chunks of yards now here as they try to salt this game away on the ground. And the reality of a homecoming loss for the second straight year starting to set in as the students make their way to the exits. I formation behind Gary. Turn, he'll fake the pitch and keep it himself. He'll cut it back against the grain. He's got room to run. Gary with 1 man to beat, steps out of the tackle of Savion Taylor, and he's fumbled the football at the 1. It goes into the end zone, and Spring Lake Park has fallen on it. And it's Panthers football. Mahtomedi has had chance after chance in the second half to put the game away. Gary was tackled by the ankles, and he stepped out of the Savion Taylor tackle, as you'll see right here at the 7, but then reaching out, just slipped out of his hands. We saw it in the Missouri-Auburn game last week, and we see it again here. Francisco Fernandez, the junior defensive back, ultimately fell on the ball. And they are going to say that it was a touchback. So 3 straight forced fumbles for Spring Lake Park. Mahtomedi with some second half sloppiness, but credit to the tenacity and defense of Spring Lake Park for forcing those turnovers. 3 turnovers apiece now. Mahtomedi 3 fumbles. Spring Lake Park with 2 fumbles and an interception. Wilkinson in at quarterback again. Pitches it wide, and it's fumbled again, and this time it's scooped up by the Zephyrs, and they'll take over. Tyler Gunderson grabbed the bounding football, and that should do it. Just as we were talking about how turnovers had been a real storyline of this game, but the pitch from Wilkinson hit, I believe, Kayshawn Green in the hands, and he fumbled it. Yep. Kayshawn Green just took his eyes off it. Details come back to matter so much in these games, and Kayshawn Green with a couple fumbles lost tonight. So now the Zephyrs take over 1st and 10 at the 20. Give to Senger. He plows through Savion Taylor down to the 16.5, the 15.5 maybe. And they may decide to just kneel this one down, or they may decide to punch it in. but they face a 2nd and 5 at the 15. And they do have a new running back in there as Jake Dallum, the tailback. Have to imagine that Corey Bomert's night is done, as he finished unofficially with 19 carries, 204 yards, and 3 rushing touchdowns. Amazingly, a shade below his season average of 221 a game. But anyone who does that to the Spring Lake Park defense is legit. 3rd and 2 now from the 12. Sanger lowers his shoulder and powers inside the 10. He's got enough for 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal for Mahtomedi. Clock will start to roll again once they get the chains set. Sanger bouncing back after fumbling a couple series ago. Each team, as we said, Spring Lake Park committed 4 turnovers, 3 fumbles lost, and an interception. And Mahtomedi indeed will go to the victory formation here. With 1:10 and counting left to go. Play clock right in front of them. Gary kneels down at the 10-yard line. As Corey Bomert, lot to smile about for that young man. 200+ yards on the ground and another 3 scores. And he was dominant from the word go tonight. Big play after big play from the All-State candidate. Another kneel down as the Mahtomedi student section serenades the Spring Lake Park students. Zephyrs earning a measure of revenge for that 35-7 loss last year at home to Spring Lake Park. They take a 35-7 lead on SLP, and despite a little bit of sloppiness in the second half, they will hang on to earn a 35-21 hard-fought win over the 8th-ranked Panthers here on the road. Panthers with a little bit of work to do. They'll take on Robbinsdale Cooper next. They'll go to Robbinsdale Cooper next. And Mahtomedi, meanwhile, a big game hosting number 2 St. Thomas Academy in the next game. But tonight the story was Corey Bomert, the All-State running back for Mahtomedi. 19 rushes, 204 yards, and 3 touchdowns to lead his team to a 2-touchdown victory here on the road over the 8th-ranked Panthers. I'd like to thank our entire crew, Director Ted LaRue, and everyone else. Great job tonight. Tough one for the Panthers here on homecoming at home. I'm Bill Hupp saying good night from Spring Lake Park and Panther Stadium, where the Panthers fall on homecoming 35-21 to Mahtomedi. Thanks for watching this presentation of high school football exclusively on North Metro TV.